everybody.
Well, I mean, it looks like the microphone is working.
It is. I wanted to turn it up more. That's probably about right there. I just gotta remember to turn it back down once we're done. Oh, that might be a little loud, actually.
I mean, you know.
Now we can turn it back. Yeah, that's good.
It's all good.
How is everyone today? Hopefully you are well. And, you know, for all the people who are not quite yet in stream. And for all the people who watch it later on the YouTubes.
The YouTubes?
So where'd we leave off?
Okay, hold on. This is in the wrong spot on the screen. Or, do you have another thing open?
Yeah.
Here?
Yep.
Alright, I can leave that there then, that's fine. Okay, so last time... I'm sorry, my mind has literally, like, just gone blank.
I believe that you had left. You discovered that Esteban is actually, or that the Rumadani former slave girl is actually a drow who calling himself Esteban.
Yep.
Calling himself that.
Not his name.
And the wizards and Jenya all leave to go to Bahadina. Treskin's like, I'm not going to a wizard city. And
Anton showed up and took us back to Asarudin.
Right.
Yeah. Anton showed up and took us back to Asarudin.
And you guys met back up with Ermar and Pell and... Maybe not Pell this time.
Pell was with us.
No, Pell's with you guys, yes,
already.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I forgot about
Yeah,
her.
Ragnar went off.
On his own. He went home.
He went home because he was super mad.
Very mad. With good reason.
Unsurprisingly.
He's also a barbarian that can't control his rage, so, you know, that's how that works.
Oops.
Or by meaning he's always raging.
Yeah. So it's not, can't control his rage isn't exactly the right...
Right, no, it's he is always angry.
He's always raging.
Yeah, he's always
He's
raging.
the Hulk, so he doesn't have to, you know, I would like to rage.
No, he's just doing it.
He's just always doing it. Which makes him more powerful as a fighter, but can sometimes affect his
interpersonal relationships, yeah. He's like, and I'm angry! And we're like, we get it, dude. You're always angry.
Like, Hulk down.
But he can't. He literally can't.
Poor guy.
That is, well, he finds a friend.
Yeah, you know, later, it's fine. It's totally fine.
Not that he didn't have friends, but you know what I mean? Like, he finds someone who shares that malady. But that's
an angry friend!
That's for another time.
Later.
Which, actually, we need to get Phil and Mac and Rob, all three said that they wanted to do this as well.
Yeah, I mean, you're the one that...
I know, like, once my school year is over, I'll be able to do more of those sorts of things.
Yeah.
Until then,
Yeah. Okay. So... at this point... What was it? Anton said he wanted to go home.
Yeah.
He said, it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, let's travel and do things. I want to go home first, though. So that whole group of us, which is Rasha, Treskin, Pell, Anton, Ermar, Esteban.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else?
I don't think so at this exact moment.
Okay.
But let me look.
We went to Milovich, which is where Anton's home is. Because his name is literally Anton Milovich. He's the uncle of the ruler, Cyril Milovich, which is our friend Kevin's previous character. So, occasionally he has to still play both of them.
Basically, if people had, because some people switch characters because they play with different parties and certain things, and time and everything over 15 years of a game. So if multiple characters came up, if they weren't playing their main and one of them was turned into an NPC, then the player whose character was plays that character, right? They role play it, and if they have to go do something, they do it with them, because that just seems right to me. Like, if they're not there, I totally play the character, but if they're there, hey, this is going on.
Exactly.
What
exactly.
What do you think?
Keepers. Okay, so we went to Milovich, as you can see on this absolutely lovely, gorgeous map that Jason made, because
Sure, thanks.
it's so pretty. Look at it. It's gorgeous. It's
I like making maps. It's like the thing I can draw.
like,
And it's definitely stylized, right? Like, it's not perfect, not all the angles are perfect, whatever. It is a
that's not-
stylized map. I want it to have that sketchy quality, but I also took it into Photoshop and did a bunch of stuff to it. So, like, it looks...
yeah.
It has a little bit of 3 dimensions. So you can tell, like, the castle's raised above the rest of the town on a platform because of the shadows and the shadows from the clouds. And, yeah, they're fun to do. And it's definitely my own style. I've not really seen other styles like this.
Quite like that. No. I love it.
And
I
legit,
think it's
everything is
amazing.
hand-drawn. Other than, the names being typed in.
Mm-hmm. First on paper and then in the digital world.
Yep. I'll draw them in multiple layers on paper and then scan them into a scanner and then take it into Photoshop and take each level out as its own layer, and then I'm able to manipulate it and make shadows appropriate and make depth and, So it has just a little bit of that 3D quality. Not too much, but just a little.
Just a little bit. But yeah. So we all went back to Milovich. And what did we do in Milovich, Jason?
Well, Belmont Duval had returned from Erwin, from Elgard, and because he's gotten a summons that all dragon riders should return to Navias. So he does. Same thing, Alexander, though he hadn't ever left really for that long, like he went down to Asarudin for a moment, then he came back, but he's there. And he was with you guys for the original going down to Demon Town, right? In Undermountain?
Alexander?
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember. Maybe?
Gosh, I don't remember either. I think he was. I think that's when he first met
Oh,
Abaga.
no, because, he was there with the Baga. Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, right, because Double Rust Dragons. Yes, so...
Double Rust Dragon.
he'd been kind of trying to think through stuff. And essentially, the current king of Navias, who is... was Redding king at this point? Yeah.
Yeah.
King Miles Redding, who had been reinstated into the guild and
A former PC.
became the king of Navias, and his cousin, who was Simon Blackmore, stepped down. That guy didn't really want to be king anyway. He was just the next in line and did it more out of duty, less out of like, yeah, I want this. He's like, no, that guy, like, he's a good person, right?
Who?
It's kind of Simon Blackmore.
Former king.
Like,
yeah.
it's a good, and I know, like, I've made a good NPC when other PCs like the person. They're like, no, he's, like, really likable, and, he's not greedy, and all this, like, he may make mistakes. Like, he's made mistakes. Like, yeah, but, like, he's a person, and is a good person, and, took the king not because he was given it, and was, like, reluctantly did it because no one else could or would, and Redding's bloodline was in question. He didn't bring it to the forefront at that point in time, basically. Like, he didn't pursue that, though he could have, and had a better claim to the throne, but, at that point in time, they also weren't going to trust wizards because of Erwin. So, King Simon Blackmore, right? Well, this guy used to be a general. He was a commander, then he became a general, and he's used to leading in the front lines. And, like, in the attack of Tarlac, he was there with his men in Navias, and Talaron specifically, defending the city from the undead legions that this evil wizard druid that had been revived from the past, who was one of Duadna's relations in the ancient past, from like an ancient relation, fighting against him, and it's like a very like take charge sort of guy. And then all these things start happening in the world and in the lands, and he's like, well, I'm king, I'm gonna go do this. And most of his fighters is like, no, we need you, we need you alive, you need to stay here and make decisions and stuff. And he's like, I want to be in battle and lead troops. So when Redding comes along, he's like, all right, it's a bunch of responsibility, but if you want it, cuz, it's yours. I don't want it. You got a better claim, you got all these things, let's make it a legit legal thing.
Take it.
The Archdruid has to approve it, which, the Archdruid is going to approve it, because the Archdruid is Duadna, and they all know each other, and Duadna knows Redding.
They're friends.
Right, so he's like, yeah, as long as the guild wasn't gonna overrun Nabiez and the
I feel like we should...
Druids are... No, we're good. We can stay in Milovich.
Well, but we're about to go.
Yeah, but so people can appreciate the picture for a moment. We can do the same thing for Talaron. So that's a little bit of history there. So they're calling the Dragon Riders because long before a lot of this happened, Cyril was actually able to get dragons from the Dragon Isles here, younger ones, seeking riders, but they didn't find too many riders, like one or two here and there. Belmont actually was a rider of a silver dragon, and she was slain by the Lich King, and he was on a forever impossible mission to try to rescue her soul, which didn't exist anymore because he obliterated it when he killed her. It was like, dead. Soul, body and soul, everything. Dead. You're not coming back. You're not even going on into an afterlife. Because you don't tick that guy off. And they did.
Oops.
But he's on this, thing to save my love. Who was this dragon? And that was never going to happen. Because some people give him bad information, and he took that as, like, that must be true. And they just wanted to see him go get himself killed.
Yeah, it was him holding on to a fruitless hope.
Right. So at this point, he's kind of a downtrodden man, was a dragon rider of Nabiez, all these sorts of things, went to a meeting with his family in Erewhon who don't like him, and is even more just like, about the only thing he has left is his faith. And this comes out in this story. So he's there. Alexander's there. Alexander has recently been on a trek to Undermountain with these cats and met Babag and was like, I love this dragon. She's awesome. And it's an ancient rust dragon. From Milovich, because
the
Cyril,
summons comes in.
Right.
Or would it be this one?
The one without one below it.
This one.
Yep. Okay. Everyone heads. It's like a 3-day journey.
The summons comes in when Rasha and Treskin and them are in Milovich. Anton is the one that's going to be transporting Cyril there. Since he has the teleportation, and he asks the group of them, he's like, hey, who wants to come and do this? I think Rasha, at that point, was like, this is now that I remember, because Treskin wasn't there.
Yeah.
Rasha was like, sure, I guess so, because Treskin
Treskin went on to Merrigan already, didn't he?
No.
Did he not? He would have been here then.
No, I remember, because I remember specifically, that I think, Ryan was out or something.
Oh.
You're just like, hey, who wants to come with me right now to Talaron, just
okay, that's probably
because
why
we're doing this, yeah.
Yeah, good point,
Yep, I remember specifically, Rasha was like, sure, I guess, might as well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think it was just Cyril and Anton and Rasha that came from Milovich.
Alexander would have been there too. Well, actually, Mac may not have been, but Mac told me this is when he was going to leave them, so he may not have been here.
Was he in Milovich at this point? I thought...
Yeah, he went back that night after the night you guys liberated Asaruddin.
Okay. Well, whatever.
Because he just went back there with everybody else.
Anyways, I didn't interact with him at all, so...
So, in this portion, they end up in Talaron, which is another map I've done. This is... So, Nabiez is when we first started the world, or when I first started the game, I kind of asked all the players who were playing, what sort of setting do they want to play in? Like, we've got this sort of place, we've got this sort of place. You know, where do you guys want to start this? There's this elven territory, there are the trade kingdoms, there are all, all these places. They're like, we're going to choose the frontier land that doesn't have a whole lot of history, and we can make up stuff there. It's like, great, let's do it there. So then I just started writing a story based on mostly everybody from here or centered around some story going on in this nation called Nabias. And so Talaran, Milovich, Kudala, Merrigan, all these cities are like some of the original cities in the game, and they've changed shape and taken form due to things the characters have done. So it's very much like a place where the characters, many of the old characters, and even some of the new ones, were invested and really had like some control of at this point because they had, been in and around for so long that they were the ones who were important now. And you guys are what, like 15th, 14th level or something like that now?
Probably.
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere,
maybe, I think
somewhere
15.
around there. Yeah.
Maybe 6, yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
So they're a high level enough to like be the boss of wherever they're at for most places.
If they want to be.
Right. So like...
Not everyone wants to be.
Right. So Duadna is the Archdruid of the Grove. Miles Redding is the King of Nabiez. Cyril Milovich rules Milovich and is the Lord of Milovich. He's the champion of the Dragon Riders. He really, after some tragedy, returned the Dragon Riders to Nabiez. So he's a person who's held in very high regard now. Mm-hmm. And in this whole thing, there's a gold dragon there and another dragon, and some other knights from Nabiez show up here attempting to ride dragons.
Okay, you were right. This is from Merrigan. Was it? They returned to Merrigan. Is that doesn't seem right then?
Yeah, no, Treskin and those guys went to Merrigan.
We all went to Merrigan. That's the thing. Yeah. No, we all went to Merrigan.
In the end, yes.
No, we all went to Merrigan.
Oh, previously. And then to...
We mixed up the timeline.
Okay, well, that happens. It's from years ago at this point.
It's fine.
So did you
We'll
go to
continue
Merrigan
with
first?
this story.
Oh,
Yeah, no, yeah, because... I don't know if we went to Milovich or not.
Yeah, you had to have, because...
Why?
That's how Anton would have found out about what was going on in Talaran. That's like the only way. So you guys were in Merrigan. Let's go back. So that happens. You guys actually first went to Merrigan. That you are correct. And that's where...
Okay.
The Treskin thing.
Yeah, because I thought that we went straight to Merrigan first.
Yeah, you're right now. That's okay. We'll mess things up.
Rewind.
Here's where they go first.
From Asserburton, we go to Merrigan. Which this is Merrigan.
Yep.
I'm pointing over there because that's where my screen is, but anyways. And where we were specifically headed was over here.
Temple of Mists.
Temple of Nikita.
In Shadow's Hollow.
Mm-hmm.
H.
And this is where, because Treskin wanted to go see the goddess that he followed, which is Nikita.
Because some things have happened, and yeah.
Before he goes underground, because, okay, he's not necessarily super safe in Merrigan.
No, he's not, but
he wanted to see Nikita.
Enough, and he has a Shadow's Dagger, which the Shadow's Dagger Guild runs Shadow's Hollow, right? Because of Sin, his brother. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Who gave him one. So he and some guests are welcome there. Aramar has one also because of other stuff that happened in the past. He actually used to work with Islana, who runs the Shadow's Dagger Guild here. And so many of them have one. Even Esteban has one.
Mm-hmm. So,
because, that's really only Pell who didn't. And you.
The first thing that they do upon arriving in Merrigan is heading to the Temple of Nikita. And to get there, you have to go through the mists. You can't, teleport in there or whatever. You have to get there through the mists.
And there's always the potential of getting lost in the mist.
I don't think any of us did this time.
You didn't.
No one got lost this time. Rasha was, holding onto Treshkin's hand and following him pretty on the way in, but the other people also didn't get lost. Who came in? I don't think everyone came in. Treshkin? Who would have been with us at this?
Aramar wouldn't have.
No, Aramar would not have come in. Fel wouldn't have.
Anton probably came in.
Anton probably came in, yeah.
I think it was just 3 of you.
Yeah. It's Rasha at this point.
Oh, through a stream would have came in.
No, I don't think he did.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure.
That dude totally would have.
I'm trying to remember. I don't know if he did or not.
I think he did. So I'm pretty sure that he said some stuff to Treskin after.
No, because we all got swallowed by the mist and separated after.
Oh. Maybe he didn't then. I thought he did.
I don't know. It doesn't matter that much. Anyways, Rasha has been here before once, briefly.
With Gravin.
With Gravin.
Nikita's brother,
so she was relatively safe at that point, since Gravin, flew her in.
And Mira, the Lady of the Mist, is still here, alive. It was Nikita's mom. She was the, basically, human avatar of Nikita for the longest time. Birthed Nikita, because Nikita is Duwadna and Mira's daughter. And a reborn god, because that happens in this world. And that's where so Treskin is literally coming to see his goddess, literally. Mm-hmm. And she's 12, maybe 11 at this point in time.
So, what does Treskin say?
I don't remember what he says.
I don't either. Treskin says something about what he's done and what he's going to do and how he's still dedicated to her.
Yeah.
And
she's like, okay. If you're dedicated, prove it. Drink from this cup.
Rasha knows this cup. She watched someone drink from this cup and go insane. So Rasha's just.
And he's actually sitting over there.
And he's over there,
battling insanities,
singing sort of crazily. Rasha's like.
Oh, it was something about. Oh, they also know the Illithid is coming, and something to protect the Illithid is there's only one way to do that. She was insinuating that he had to be insane to
to protect his mind from
the Illithid. Which she's not wrong. It's definitely a method. She's also crazy. She's crazy. So, of course, his crazy goddess would be like, hey, just go mad. It's okay.
Yeah, Rasha's not too excited about that.
They can't mess with you then.
But obviously she's... So... Treskin drinks from the cup.
Makes a saving throw.
Yeah, but still goes crazy.
Yeah. Spend some destiny points, though.
Yes.
And that's the purpose.
So, he drinks from this cup, spends destiny points, obviously on an out-of-character level. And this changes him into a godling.
He's a half-elf.
He gains godly powers.
Yep.
At this point.
He be.
So before, he had, normal-looking eyes, and his color was,
Violet.
Violet. Okay. I personally, when I think of the color that his eyes are, don't think of violet, because I think of violet as a lighter color. Whatever, but, they're a gorgeous, the really pretty gorgeous, actual, royal type of purple color. Not, pale, right? Just in case anyone, like me, thinks of violet as a different color, it's, actual purple, royal purple. Anyways, the only visible change on him is that the whites of his eyes, there's, the iris is still
Scapula.
Purple. Yeah, I
think is what it's called.
What did you say?
No, not scapula.
Sclera.
Sclera, yeah.
The word.
That's it, sclera.
It changes to black.
Close.
That's the only visible change. Right?
So in anime world, he's dead now.
No, because his whole eyes aren't black.
No, because never mind. You watch Naruto.
Nope.
Anyway.
And it's not in anime world, it's in Naruto world.
Whatever, it's an anime.
It's an anime. It's not all anime.
World.
Obviously Rasha doesn't know what happened to him. She doesn't know he has godly powers now.
But he does.
He knows, obviously, like, if there are things that you can do, you know that. You inherently know that, right?
As well, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure Esteban was there.
Okay, sure. So he saw this and was like,
Because Treskin's plan is to go underground to hide from everybody taunting him on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
And Esteban's like, yeah, let's do that and free the Drow from the matriarch tyranny. And now Treskin is a god.
Esteban doesn't know that.
No. Not yet.
Well, no. But not right
But
now.
I'm saying Esteban is there.
Yeah.
So now Treskin is a god, and so Treskin's plan is coming a little more closer to fruition, and regardless of what anybody else thinks, he knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
He actually does, in the end. He really actually does.
So this happens, and Tristan's a little kind of out of it, and Rasha kind of knows what's about to happen, like, once they're done here, so she goes ahead and, like, grabs Tristan's hand again. Nikita looks at Rasha and offers the cup to her. She's like, do you want a drink? And Rasha's like, I have had close interactions with a lot of gods. I don't think that I want to dedicate myself to one only. And Nikita's kind of like, okay. All right. And I don't know, maybe, I don't know if she says anything else, but then pretty much the mists close in.
Mm-hmm.
And Rasha and Tristan kind of have to stumble out. They eventually all find each other again outside. So...
in different parts of Merrigan.
Right. Because you go into the mists and you can come out anywhere else.
Yeah, it's all...
I see all the mists on the screen there. But they were in the Temple of Nikita.
connected-ish.
And they are mystically connected.
Yeah, truly. But it's well,
mystically connected.
Some people know how to get around them. No.
Sure. Treskin kind of does. Yeah. So they come out a little bit better than some of the others.
Yeah.
But they would have come out even better if he had been less dealing with having just gone crazy. Like, they got in totally fine. A bit more rocky coming out, but it's okay. So, now Treskin is crazy. Not that he can't function, but, like, there are, parts of his, like, he has some forms of insanity. And this is the point wherein Anton gets the message.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, Rasha, you want to go to Talaron with me? And Rasha's like, sure. Where's... I forget.
Down. It's in alphabetical order.
Alright. So now we're back
to Talaron. The Dragon Rider thing. Treskin and the other people stay in Merrigan to deal with their own stuff.
Ragnar's there too.
He was going to be, but he's not.
Is he not?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, so...
Oh, no, he is. Yes.
Has he already done the thing?
No, he was invited.
He was invited.
He did something else. He was invited in different ways.
Yeah.
But Redding invited him there because Tyrlon wanted him to be there.
Right. Even though, yeah.
And he wanted Anton there. A lot of this was not just the Dragon Rider stuff. It was also Tyrlon wanted to gather heroes to ask them something.
Mm-hmm. So,
because this is new to these people. Because he'd come back to life through the efforts of other...
Talaron is one of the what dragons? The
Firstborn dragons?
Firstborn dragons. He's the time one.
Yeah.
And he died, but he's back now.
Right. He died at the actually very beginning of the entire game, which is why anyone who has heard us talk about this is like, who the heck is Tyrlon? And Cyril Milovich knows, which is why Anton is being asked there, because Redding is like, hey, these people come here, this guy's got something to say, and we need to figure out our Dragon Rider thing and all this stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Because he had been brought back not long ago by Tuwadna, Argoth, and Anton in a battle in the Dragon Isles, which started some stuff between Laufweir, and Argoth, which comes into play later.
Laufweir is the firstborn dragon. He's the shadow dragon. Shadow dragon.
The dragon of shadow.
The dragon of shadow.
And is a shadow dragon, actually. Yeah, that's right. He's a shadow dragon, too. Anyway, so...
the first part of it is Rasha's at this meeting where they're talking about the fact that there's this gold dragon who, they're all like, they're out in a big courtyard. They're here in the palace.
Mm-hmm.
And they're out, and they're in, like, the open area. Probably, like, over here.
Mm-hmm.
I know, since later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly where.
Yeah. And...
Endiel's here.
Yeah, there's a lot of people here.
Any dragon
Belmont is, like, greets Rasha. He's like, oh, well, at least, you know, there's someone that's good to see here. And Rasha's kind of like, hey, Belmont. They don't really interact much. If the player of the character had actually been there, there probably would have been more talking.
Probably.
But, you know. More have been, like, Rasha being like, nah. Not anymore. But, anyways. So, Rasha is listening to them talk about how there's this gold dragon, which she sees the gold dragon there. It's a pretty... What size? It's pretty big.
It's large.
It's large, right?
And they're all doing their own thing.
And the dragon's over there, and they're discussing. And Rasha's listening to this, but she doesn't really know that much about it.
Dragon Knight stuff.
Like,
blah, blah, Dragon Knight stuff. Keep going. I'm just going to do this in the background.
Right.
Blah, blah, Dragon Rider stuff. Blah, 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 Dragon Rider
stuff. You can't, because I can't concentrate.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, well, that's what they're doing while she does this.
And Rasha, you know, she's like, okay, this... But she sees the gold dragon there, and so... Azita Haka, the firstborn dragon that Rasha trained with, he is a combination gold and red dragon. Which is on top? Gold or red? Doesn't matter, but...
Red to gold.
Anyways, yeah, he's red to gold,
but
and then...
It's like...
It kind of like shifts.
He's literally half and half. Like,
yeah, but then on the in-between, like, it's not just like a line, it like...
Yeah.
He's very pretty. He's so pretty. Anyways.
There's a gradient.
And Rasha's like, oh, okay. She's like, but the gold dragon's mostly just laying in the sun.
Acting like a big, giant cat.
Just kind of like, maybe shifting a little bit every once in a while, you know. And Rasha's like, well...
Lifting an eye.
I don't really have anything to do. And she's like, oh, that's cool. He's a gold dragon. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Azita Haka. So she goes over and starts talking to him. It's a guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And she kind of like bows a little, or nods her head. Not like bows. She like nods her head, and she's like, hello. She's like, I'm Rasha Sharav. She's like, I just wanted to come and greet you, because you remind me of someone that I know. The dragon is kind of that, like, he's like, he opens an eye, like, looks at her. Does he say anything that he says?
Not yet.
At that point?
Not yet. I don't think he's like.
But he does open an eye and actually like look at her, so he's actually paying attention to her. And so Rasha is continuing to explain. She pulls out the sword, the Desert Wind, and holds it in her hand. And so at this point, when she pulls the sword out, unbeknownst to her, King Redding, Miles Redding, notices, because this
blah, dragon stuff.
This is an extraordinarily powerful magical item. And unbeknownst to Rasha, obviously Avital is aware because this happened. He casts, what?
I don't know.
No, like to look at the history of it. What is that? He like
legend lore.
Legend lore, yeah. Or casts or does that, whatever. He does legend lore.
He couldn't cast visions yet, but yeah, legend lore.
Legend lore.
Which
and
takes time. It wasn't right instantaneously.
Right, so he's doing that as Rasha's talking to the dragon and holding the sword out, which lets him kind of see the legend of the thing, kind of its past history. And so there goes through, you know, different people carrying it to finally Rasha
finding it
in a cave and rescuing it from someone just by talking, giving it back to the Sultan, and then the Sultan giving it to her later, and then her going and training with Azita Haka, and her still carrying it at that point.
And then things that she had done to recreate the legend of the Desert Wind since, and he's like, oh.
He's like, okay, all right. So Rasha pulls the sword out and is talking to this gold dragon. She says, this is the Desert Wind. It's I guess a really special sword. And I was trained in the use of this sword by Azita Haka.
He's like, no, you weren't. Not being a jerk about it. I'm being a jerk right now. Right? He's just like, And if I don't believe you?
I don't think he said that.
No, but that's like his attitude was like, I don't know what he said, right? Because that was years ago, so I'm not going to remember exactly what he said.
No, I don't remember him being like that at all.
He wasn't dismissive like I'm being right now. He was like, I'm more like, okay.
And she's like, obviously I didn't know I was coming here, so I can't bring you specific greetings from him, but...
He was really confused, like...
No,
that's weird.
He believed her.
Oh, that's right, in the end, because of something that he sense-motived you. That's right. He's like, you're not lying. Well, then.
She's like, so I just wanted to sort of, informally give you greetings.
You want to ride me?
I didn't say it that way.
No, I'm not even meaning it that way. I'm just like, those are words, and I say words.
No, but he didn't.
No, but that was
so they're still talking, and Belmont was not wanting... Originally, like, they had thought of having Belmont be his new rider, but Belmont was being...
He's like, belligerent
and not helpful.
He's like, I got a kid to raise, she's a godling, I can't do that anymore.
And so then...
I got a family and a faith to take care of.
They were talking about Simon.
Yep. Blackmore,
the former king, Redding's relative. And...
But when he did ask, it turned all their heads when he asked you.
No, he says, not to me.
Right.
He actually, says to them, he's like, can't she... He's like, what about her? Can't she be my rider? And Rasha's like, what? And then everybody, stops and, turns, and Rasha's just kind of standing there,
Something's been happening while we were doing other things. And they're not going to tell the guy no, right? Then I'd be like, well...
And so then they start talking to Rasha. They're like...
Is that something you want?
Is that something you want? And Rasha's like, what does that mean? What does that entail? So they tell her... They're like, you...
Tales of knights and dragons
and more about the fact that she would be, sworn to Nabiez and things like that.
Yeah.
And also, how they fight, in the back of Dragon Riders. And Rasha says, I am honored. I am honored by your request. However, I cannot swear my allegiance to a country that is not my home in such a way. Also, I would be kind of useless sitting on the back of a dragon because of the way that I fight.
It's true. Completely useless,
Which is
actually.
very true. She would be doing nothing.
Yeah,
she has no ranged or, long...
Useful.
Mm-mm. I mean, it would be kind of funny to see her, not stop moving and, running around the dragon because she could literally do that.
But things would have to be around it.
Around it.
And
still wouldn't be helpful.
Things don't want to be around dragons.
Yeah.
And after that, I think then it was obvious that you weren't going to do it. So the gold dragon's like,
All right. Yeah.
And then Belmont. He talked with Belmont for a moment.
Belmont was... But I don't think he even talked to Belmont, really, because Belmont was already...
Oh, that's right. They had talked
Belmont,
previously
I think,
many times where they're
left at that point, maybe.
Goodbye, and he leaves. Yeah, good point.
Belmont leaves.
He leaves, because he quit the Dragon Riders at that point in time. He's like, I quit, not in a crappy way, just this isn't for me anymore. Take care.
I'm afraid I must go.
Alexander, and this is while Rasha was speaking with the Gold Dragon, I believe. I believe you're right. Alexander also took that moment to resign from the Dragon Riders, and he and Z left. well, they left the scene. They didn't necessarily leave Talaran.
Right.
They left the scene as like, I'm going to do my own thing. Alexander's also trying to put businesses together, trying to figure out his life. And really that dude, all he ever wants to do is just go fishing. So that's what he did. Mm-hmm. He went down to the river somewhere and started fishing. Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm no longer part of this.
He wasn't there when the thing that was about to happen happened? I don't know. Anyway.
Hold on.
Anyways, so the former king, Simon, does finally agree. They agree that Simon is going to be the rider of this gold dragon. And at this point, Anton, I think, was like flying.
Yeah, Anton's a little crazy too. He was trying to become a dragon that could be ridden into battle because he can shape change into a dragon because he's a dragon sorcerer.
Had the thing happened with Graven yet?
No, it's just he can do that. That's part of his class.
No, but it hadn't happened yet. When did it?
No, not yet.
It didn't? I thought it happened before we went on the whole quest thing.
He's a half-dragon?
Yeah.
Oh, it did happen when he cured him of his feeble-mindedness.
No, right? He did it as a miracle in a city, in one of his temples.
Oh, that was at a different place. It has happened at this point because he wasn't around you guys. Right, when you guys were separate.
I was there as an NPC.
Yeah, when you guys were separate. It happened in Matrin. So, yes, at this point in time, he is a half-dragon.
Graven, Hiradas, the god, performed a miracle, and Anton is now a half-dragon, which is, not a thing that was a thing.
At all. He's the first one. There becomes another one later.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Anyways, so he's a half-dragon,
and he's like, look, I'm a dragon. I can turn into a dragon, and someone can ride me. And they're all sort of like, yeah, no, buddy. That's okay. He didn't do well enough on his diplomacy check. And so they're like, nah, but we like your enthusiasms, and we appreciate that it wasn't a crappy no. It was like that might be a little strange for some people. We're going to pass on that, but thank you. As well, Argoth had come here to seek knowledge of a dragon that can aid him with becoming a worm wizard.
Right. But, so, at this point...
So Alexander may be nearby, he's just not
So Simon is agreed to become the rider of the Gold Dragon. Rasha commiserates with him for a moment. She says, I can understand being thrust into things that are entirely new and you do not experience, so I wish you the best of luck. And they kind of have
thanks. Because Simon's a good guy. He's
a little moment.
I appreciate it. Thank you. It's like, this will let me get back into battle and action and do my duty to my nation and my people.
And she's like, yeah, good luck.
That sort of thing, right? And he gets on the gold dragon's back and is not a natural, but gets the hang of it and practices. And then there's Endiel and other dragon riders around, and they help him, and they take to the sky and start
doing some flying.
Right, teaching and things like that.
This is when, I think, after that's all happened, is when Tirlan comes.
Yep, exactly.
So, how does it go?
The Archdruid asks them into... Oh, he comes out of the grove, doesn't he?
He literally comes walking out of the woods.
He comes out of the grove.
This looks like a young man.
Because he's been protected in the grove by
comes walking out of the woods. That's why I said they were over here.
Right.
Literally in this spot here.
Because as you can barely see on the map...
Outside of the palace.
Underneath
the hidden grove is,
right,
hidden under here. Purpose. Yes, he did on purpose. And they're here. So this young man... Most of them just see this young man walks out of the forest
in a midnight blue, blacks and silvers. Comes out, and it's.
Does Cyril know when he sees him, or
yeah?
Cyril knows when he sees him that this is Tirlan.
Ragnar's also here.
Yeah,
he's been asked to be here. Nothing to do with the Dragon Rider stuff, but to do exactly with this, because Tirlan wanted people connected to Cyril, people that he knew about, people that he knew we're heroes here, and it just so happened that Rasha was here, and we're safe. Yeah. So
and Rasha just so happened to have a connection,
right,
to another one of the firstborn dragons,
unknown to everyone else until pretty much this moment when Redding finds out. And this is where Tirlon asks that he needs heroes to help him on a quest. He has been reborn into this world and is not at the power he once was. He also understands that he's made mistakes in the past, and he wishes to reunite the first flight of dragons, his brothers and sisters, and gain their memories, a scale, a token of them, something, and regain his former power and take his rightful place at the lead in flight.
Like a scale or something from them to help regain his memories and his power along with that.
And he states that this journey will be long and fraught with danger, and that he needs heroes of a grand caliber to join him. And Argoth is like, yeah. Anton's like, yeah, because of history. He actually wants Cyril to go, but Cyril's like, no. I'm a family man now, but I love you, boss.
I rule the city.
But I can't. My uncle will go. And his uncle's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Ragnar, like I said, they said it was like, yeah.
Had Ragnar already done his thing?
He has.
Ragnar.
He's done part of it.
At this point.
No, he didn't do... Oh, actually, this may be.
I'm pretty sure he already has.
I think it's up. I think you're right.
Yeah. It's even... Yeah.
Yes. Yes, so at this
Ragnar has forged a connection with a different one of the firstborn dragons. This is the person that this is the being that we mentioned who also rages all the time.
Jormungand. Who was the creature that capsized his ship in his very first adventure. Like, there's a whole history between Ragnar and this dragon, right? Yeah, and this legend. And
they've come to an understanding.
And now these legends are coming together.
And they kind of, like, share their rage now, and then kind of sense the other one, and...
One of them can be not ragey.
For, like, a day.
And the other one is...
More ragey.
Yeah. No chance.
Than normal, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
So Ragnar's like, I'll help you.
Right, which... Does that mean that Ragnar was the...
Champion of Jormungand?
First one? Mm. Who was the first one?
I don't remember.
Who would have already been one before him at this point?
There was somebody who was...
I don't know.
I don't remember off the top of the moment.
Anyways, so he's a champion of one of the firstborn dragons. Although it's not in as formal of a way as with the other ones, because of the amount of rage that Jormungand holds, there's not necessarily, like, a lot of words exchanged. It's just more
like
of an understanding.
So, and there's a bond of rage that they have.
Besides the connection, Ragnar also gains a few abilities.
Yeah.
Like being able to breathe underwater and some things like that.
Has the water subtype and can, you know, he picked up some cool stuff from Jormungand.
It was pretty neat. It's pretty neat. But yeah, Rasha, who at this point has nothing specific to do and knows that Treskin is about to go on a journey that she cannot accompany him on, and since she knows Zita Haka, she's like, well, we have to go, you would have to go see Zita Haka anyway. She's like, yes, I will help on this quest type thing.
He might be the first one.
I thought he was. I'm pretty sure
he was. Because it was a very touching, like,
well, I don't know about
flank scene we did.
I don't know when Jinya did.
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
Oh. No, he already has. So Jinya, I think, was actually the first one.
Yeah.
He already has, yeah. He's the Radiant Champion.
Yeah.
So he was. But still, it was a very...
It was a really cool scene.
So if we can get to this point where, like, Rob is in on this, like, it was a very cool scene that Rob didn't expect. I didn't even expect. And it just worked out in a way and, like, was very... It was actually ad-libbed as well. Like, I had an idea, like, okay, we got some time, let's do this sort of thing. And it worked out really cool.
Yeah, where you kind of like...
To not what everyone expected.
All right, well, you kind of have this time, and you kind of might maybe have this idea, and you know,
and he's like, I want to slay I want to slay Jormungand.
Well, I want to go find Jormungand, and then then like Jormungand like pulled him down, and Rob had to make a whole bunch of checks about like breathing. And
yeah.
Anyways, anyways.
But there was other stuff. It was
good. It was really good.
I like it when like surprises like that happen, where you don't expect something and like really good story comes out of it because you're both just riffing on an idea.
Yeah. Another thing that happens is that Argoth and Tirlon
make a pact. So everyone says yes to his quest. They'll help him. And he's like, thank you, my friends. And, Duadna's like, you sure you'll be okay? He's like, I'll be fine. In fact, let me leave this with you. And Tirlon, so because he thinks at this point in time, his brother's not around, Tirlon leaves a scale of Fafnir, who was a gold and green dragon, green to gold, with Duadna.
Fafnir is gone.
And Fafnir was the archdruid of the Grove for the longest time. The Dragon of the North, Dragon of the Root, all these
Fafnir
things,
was
right?
The Dragon
he was
of
one
the
of
North, but he's gone.
He died not long after Tirlon did, and no one brought him back or whatever. So Duadna saw this as like, oh, what a gift, right? He could bring him back, he could do a lot of stuff, and Duadna didn't quite know what to do with it, so he sort of just held on to it and thought about it and was like, okay, thank you, I trust you, be safe and, be well. And oh yeah, and then Argoth approaches him about becoming a worm wizard and needs a
mentor.
Yes.
A dragon mentor.
A dragon mentor to learn magic from, to further his path as a wizard, and Tirlon agrees.
Mm-hmm.
And so the party
at this point
is solidified.
It's
mostly.
So Anton, Rasha, Ragnar, and Tirlon go back to Merrigan, where Treskin, Pel, Eramar, and Thrustreen, Esteban, are chilling to figure out their plan.
No, I'm pretty sure Alexander goes with you too.
I know that he does not.
But he ends up with you at Babaga.
No, he ends up with us at Azita Haka.
Oh, that's right.
We talked about this.
That's right. That's because why writing sends in places. Never mind.
Yeah.
We did talk about that. I'm sorry.
No, it's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
That's fine. There are a few things I remember specifically.
Yeah.
And then some things I just totally forget. But the things I do remember specifically, I remember very specifically. Thanks, brain. So we are in Merrigan.
Well, you're in Talaron currently.
No, I just said we would go back to Merrigan.
And you go, yeah. Now you're going. Sorry.
Yeah.
To Merrigan. I was looking at the map when I said you're in Talaron currently.
Is the place we're on this map?
Yeah, it actually is.
And we were at some kind of inn.
A little inn. It was, I believe, down in Southton.
Which is
down here.
The B.
Is that right?
It was somewhere over there on that side of the river, at least. I know that much. That sounds right. What's the Four Bards?
Oh, that's a place that Alexander opened.
Neat. But yeah, we were somewhere. Yeah, that sounds right. We were somewhere over here. Not all that important. But we were at an inn of some sort, talking about.
Actually. Yeah, whichever. Yes.
Talking about what to do next. We had figured out. We're like, okay. We need to. All of us need to get to Undermountain to move on from there.
Because I believe, didn't you coordinated with someone from here to meet back in Merrigan before you left?
Right, well, yeah, before, like, Anton and I.
Right, because you were going to meet at a specific...
We were already at, like, an inn.
Right,
and
we're
we're
going to
like,
meet back there.
We'll meet back here, yeah. So we had spent enough time to... We understood that we all needed to go to Undermountain. Because we needed to go see Babaga, like Rasha and Anton and Tirlon and Ragnar. We needed to go see Babaga. We figured since we all needed to head to Undermountain, we might as well see Babaga first, right? It would make sense since they needed to go down to what was it called? Lycan.
And I ran some extra little things in the city with the other people.
Right,
so
like Treskin tried to get some things made for him, and that probably didn't help.
And, other people went off and, like, Twilight's Guild is here, or the Twilight's Blade Guild is here, so Eramar went off and, like, kind of reconvene with those casts to sort of tell them what's going on and get their aid in things and speak with the Shadow's Dagger and just little things like that happened.
While we were gone.
Mm-hmm. So they all meet back.
So we're having this discussion.
In a bar.
But we do know that we need to go to Undermountain first. while we're talking specifically about what we're going to do, 5 brethren, what are brethren?
So brethren
From
are
Erwin.
Erwin mages that they're pretty brutal. They specifically come up in a certain way where they come up as brothers through this whole regimen program, and they can be wizards or sorcerers, but most end up being wizards. And at the end, to actually graduate to become one, you have to kill your brother. Because the sacrifice has to be made to be brethren. Truly, like, brothers through sacrifice. So they're called the brethren.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, it's like...
Aaron, why are you so awful?
Well, it was that way. After the most of the brethren were right, except for in Elgard, where Dorian's like, I'll take you all in. We will keep that tradition here.
So anyways, these 5 powerful magic users, wizards come in, and they are magic users.
Yeah.
And
specifically the wizards this time for a reason.
Go to attack Treskin.
Now, go to attack, it's like point a finger, whisper a thing, and, you know, Treskin's got to make a will save, and then...
Yeah.
Some people who know magic, who can see magic and stuff,
they're like
realize
things are happening.
And then they're being that Treskin, specifically just Treskin.
Yes, they're making a point to only target Treskin, which makes sense. But we realize that this is happening, and we're like, we have to get out of here. So we're all rushing to, like, come together so that we can teleport out. In this kerfuffle, Thrustrian, the
Well, first, we'll say Tirlon was like, don't kill them.
Yeah, don't.
Because obviously they're not trying to kill civilians. They're not here to cause trouble with Nabias. They're probably here on some, who knows, like, maybe they're here officially, maybe they're not, because they weren't totally undercover either. And they just approached Treskin and did this. And they were just going to approach him, hit him with the thing, knock his butt out, and leave with him. Like, okay, and teleport, and we're good. That just didn't work out. So Pell starts casting spells at people, and other people go in and, you know, try to beat him down or whatever. And Tirlon's like, don't kill him.
So we're like, we have to get out of here. So we're like, let's, you know, come together so we can all teleport out of here. And Thrustrian, Esteban, the
drow.
No, I'm trying to think of the word that I can use.
The assassin?
No, like an insulting word that's not a swear word. Anyways, the a-hole, the bastard that he is, uses a shadow dagger.
He can also change what he looks like because of a magic item he has, so he doesn't look like a drow. He looks like a
person.
Yeah, just a random rogue with a shadow dagger, specifically.
He kills one of them, like, while we're, like, on the way out, like, trying to... Kills one of them with a shadow dagger, which, because higher-ups are aware that Treskin has that, means that Treskin is now specifically being hunted by all of the wizard towers. Except maybe the ones that are controlled by PCs.
Right. But other than that, any major... The Wizards Guild entirely, almost entirely, is now set against him because Thrustrian did that on purpose.
Of course he did.
It's like, let's just keep you underground.
He's a jerk.
And also made it look like the Shadow's Dagger so that there would be issues between Nabias and Erewhon to work out. So there's like a whole mess to deal with in the wake of these guys leaving to go to Undermountain.
Yes, so we all managed to get...
Which works out in a way.
You know, physical touching distance, because that's how teleportation works.
Hey, go!
And Anton... Because, wait, who had been there before? Had Anton been there?
Nope.
How did he know where to go? Okay, yeah, we had already talked about it and described to him. So Anton teleports the group of us into the in-between space that is in between Babaga's lair and the Dwarven city.
The ruined sort of...
Yeah, the in-between spot, so that they don't, like, bother anybody immediately by their teleportation.
Because everyone wants to figure out what's going on.
So we're like, whoa!
Because some of them have to go different ways. Well,
not immediately, like we... Yeah. We're like, oh!
That was insane. And there's, like, magic flying around this bar that totally unintended chaos happened. Well, I mean, some of the people who instigated it afterwards intended it for it to happen. But how it started, the bad guys, the Brethren, which really weren't there as bad guys. They were there as police force to apprehend Truscan.
The word would be antagonists.
Yes, the antagonists were there with a justified reason to bring back...
Because Truscan inadvertently had, because of what he did when flying over Surtur and dropping the bombs on the dragons, had inadvertently committed an act of terrorism.
To the goblins.
Although I don't know if I should say that word on Twitch.
It's a word. It's a real word that exists in a language.
Yeah,
It's not a bad word.
Yes, but there are words that are not bad words that are banned. Anyways, he was supposed to be taken back to the country so they could
face trial,
figure things out.
Because he's a fugitive.
And now this has been made worse.
Right.
By the fact that...
So now more people are hunting him.
More people are trying to get him.
Because people just tend to die when he's around. Who shouldn't? Happens when you get a drow assassin, in your back pocket. He just randomly kills people.
Yeah,
Stab.
he does. And you're just like,
stab.
Dude, quit it.
It's what I do. It's what I get paid to do. It's what I am.
Can you not do that, please? Please,
nope.
Please?
Nope, that's what I do. So they all end up in Undermountain, and we'll see what happens next time.
Yes. They're gonna go do things. But that's next time. Yeah, so lots of things happened. Always lots of things happening. Anyways, that's all for today. I'm still warm. Like, I even made the point of wearing shorts, and it's still warm here. Anyways, thanks for coming, or just thanks for watching if you're seeing this on YouTube. We'll see you all again next week. I will be streaming for sure on Thursday, 6 p.m. Who knows, maybe before that. Anyways, have a good rest of your day, evening, morning, night, whatever.
Take care, everybody. Until next time.
And I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.